Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to the Empowered Harmonizers, and I want to give a huge shout out to those of you who have recently commented and donated to the channel. Thank you so much for your contribution and support. It keeps me inspired and motivated to continue to develop crafted content uniquely for this community here on YouTube and the Empowered Harmonized. So a huge shout out to those of you who have gone above and beyond to donate and contribute to the channel. Thank you so much. It is with gratitude and heartfelt thanks that I reach out to you. So thank you so much. And I want to zoom in and dive in a little bit more in depth in exactly that. A viewer question that came in about really kind of being frozen in their life. Feeling like their life is like a freeze frame, like they can't get up and move, that they feel stuck, they feel blacked. And to understand really why this is. Why do you kind of shut down after a heartbreak? Why do you shut down after a toxic relationship? Why do you shut down, close the curtains, close the door, lock all the garage, shut off all access to yourself and really become in that ultra self-protective defensive mode after a relationship or an encounter with a narcissist or a psychopath? Why do you curl up in a ball? Why do you get into this freeze sort of behavior? And that is because it is really essentially an overuse of a fight or flight reaction. It's an overuse. It's using, what can be a positive defense, in terms of saying no, putting your foot down and declaring a boundary. I mean, that would be a positive adaptation. Say, that's never happening to me again. I'm dusting myself off. I'm moving on. I learned my lesson. I'm out of here. Never again. That is an adaptation from the experience. And that arriving at that does take time. It does take really learning about what happened so it doesn't happen again. It's just that feeling of bewildering defeat that you want to avoid at all costs moving forward. So that is really why it's like your body is telling you, you must really get it this time. But so, it is important to kind of wake up or shake yourself up a little bit from an extended amount of downtime, if you will. You do need to have the downtime to recharge and recharge your batteries and get in touch with what you really want and make better choices, better decisions, so that this doesn't happen again. But it's also it's time to be cautious so that you don't just completely shut down and become obsessive and panicky in that way. People can become, develop these social anxieties, the fear that they won't be able to handle something. They won't be able to deal with something that's coming their way. They'll be caught. They'll be like a deer in a headlight. They won't know how to react. They won't know how to respond appropriately. And so if we look at, what are the positive adaptations versus the negative adaptations, I think you can really search and then find these within yourself, such as Pete Walker describes in his book, Complex PTSD, from Surviving to Thriving. If we look at, he develops and discusses this content as well. And so if we look at the positive versus the negative, you can see where the positive balance is within you versus the negative sort of experience or adaptation that can lead to an imbalance in your life and really unhappiness. So this is really all about you here today. So really a positive adaptation would become, to develop more of an acute awareness. So being aware of your environment, aware that there are relationships out there that go south, that go sour, that go sideways, that get you jacked up, that will lead and trigger you, especially if you've had previous experiences before in your life or were raised, in a dysfunctional setting, then you have a real trigger center to this. In other words, you might find yourself sticking around and enduring this type of a treatment for way too long and then being triggered to overuse a certain adaptation. Launching into anger or launching into kind of curling up, the sort of regressive behaviors, some that are necessary, but if they're overused it can become very deleterious or dysfunctional for you. And, or, to become mindful of your feelings would be a positive adaptation. To say, wow, this is where I really get angry. I'm going to shut it down. I'm not going to go there. No way. Or, this is when I spend weeks and weeks, in my bedroom with the curtains drawn tight and nothing but macaroni and cheese to eat. And I'm being neglectful of my health. I'm really hiding. This is not positive for me. This is actually becoming detrimental. So it's learning to become mindful of that and saying, okay, you know what? It's been 3 years now. I think I can get up and go, to a coffee shop, or go to lunch with some buddies, or lunch with some girlfriends, or, have a drive in the countryside and see some new sights and take in some new images. Images are so important to fill the inner pool back with. Positive images, even images of art or that are highly colorful in nature, will do just huge amounts of healing work and feel good experiences for you. So to take in the positive can be very refreshing, and that's why I definitely recommend holding yourself accountable for the recovery date and the recovery gift, so that you're making this stuff happen. You're scheduling it in on a day-by-day basis. When we talk about New Year's and New Year's resolution, really by, really mid-February, about 92% of people have fallen off the train. They've fallen off the tracks. They're no longer going after their resolutions or their goals, nothing that's meaningful to them. Whether it's lose weight, get a new job, get a new relationship, get a personality makeover, get an attitude adjustment, whatever your New Year's resolution, start that art project, sell the house, whatever it is, go back to school, whatever goals you have. Oftentimes people just jump ship. They give up way too soon, and it's because they don't have any sort of meaningful heart-centered connection to the goal. It's just sort of loosely stated. And so it's very important to hold yourself on a day-to-day basis accountable for your own goals. This is about you. This is not about trying to take care of somebody else. You are what is paramount. You are the priority here. This is all about you. This is your time. So it's for you. It's not, to help others. And eventually it'll help you to help others, or your goal might be to help others. So, but to improve yourself and to better yourself and learn and become attuned and aware of this now and adjust will serve you to your tune of your happiness, and you're living in a higher vibration, a higher energy, a better place for you, versus being really kind of stuck and feeling isolated in the down zone, in the valley. And so, this can become isolation versus just being at peace. Take that peace and bringing it with you throughout all your encounters, whether even if you're something that would normally trigger you and being upset, becoming mindful and saying, you know what, this is the thing that really gets my goat, not this time. I'm not launching into this anger. And becoming like overly busy, wearing yourself down, wearing yourself out, and not being able to go out and do things in a balanced manner. You do need to then just have like a healthy retreat, be able to say, okay, you know what, I've done enough. I'm going to now just pack it in, and I'm just going to relax now, and I'm gonna unwind, and I've had enough activity. Now it's time for a little bit of inactivity. So it's really all about that balance and learning when you're overusing some sort of adaptation technique that is now to your detriment versus to your support. It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.